There's an hour of Rap Now on 4 as Jonathan Ross chats to the woman of the moment, Madonna.
Erotica.
It's a funny old job, television. You never quite know what the day's going to bring. For example, some mornings I get up early, have a shave, head for the studio, and then find myself preparing all day so that I can interview a man who talks backwards very quickly. Other times you're picked up in a car like this one, taken to a posh hotel, wearing a nice new jacket that you hope says something like, I'm smart, I'm clean, I'm hip, but don't get too close, I'm married, before being escorted past throngs of desperate teenagers and representatives of the finest press corps in the world, the British tabloids, into the presence of one who is far more famous than you could ever expect to be, which of course is what I'm doing today. You see, even as I speak, the one and only Madonna is pacing up and down in a hotel room not far from here, preparing herself and her answers for me and my questions, erecting an emotional barricade against the silver-tongued onslaught to follow. Barricades which, of course, will fall away like the flimsiest items of lingerie as I get really warmed up. Perhaps she's even panting in fear. Fear that she, this material girl, this post-pop icon who promises so much, might not live up to expectations, might not deliver the goods, not just for me, but for you, the world-weary, sophisticated, seen-it-all-before audience. And for the record, I'm happy to admit that I'm a little nervous as well. You see, I've interviewed some of the biggest stars of the 80s and 90s, but there's something about Madonna, or Madge, as I prefer to call her, that's different.
Lisa.
Thank you. Come on, everyone. How are you? I've got to go in. She's waiting for me. She's expectant. She plays the game better than any other modern star. While others hide away from the glare, exciting us by remaining unavailable, unattainable, almost private, she seems to give more and more away each year. While Michael Jackson remains a rather sad enigma, while George Michael tries to suggest a little more depth by keeping quiet, while Prince gets on with, well, whatever it is that Prince does in those bumless pants and chainmail cafeteries, Madonna is always out there, talking about her sexual preferences, hinting at the, if not forbidden, slightly riper fruit of her love life, even to the extreme of taking a whole chunk of her existence, a whole period of work and sex and play, and paying a film crew to follow her around and catch every last moment for public consumption. If it's worth doing, she seems to be saying, then why not do it in front of an audience? In fact, why not do it in a beautifully produced, aluminium-bound, arty, photographic book and charge people 25 sols a pop for it? Perhaps the most remarkable thing about Madge is that people no longer seem to think about the fact that she's a talented singer or actress or live performer. It's the incredible fuss she managed to cause just by jogging in the park or, well, taking her knickers off for the camera. Madonna is way above all that boring song and dance talent stuff. She is the Napoleon of hype, the Attila the Hun of self-promotion, the Julius Caesar of modern mass marketing. And what makes it even better, even more incredible, is that she's a woman. Blimey, she's a genius.
Erotica. Romance. My name is Dita. I'll be your mistress tonight. I'd like to put you in a trance. If I take you from behind, push myself into your mind when you least expect it. You try to reject it. If I'm in charge and I treat you like a child, will you let yourself go wild? Let my mouth go where it wants to. Give it up, do as I say. Give it up and let me have my way. I'll give you love, I'll hit you like a truck. I'll give you love, I'll teach you how to. I'd like to put you in a trance. All over, erotic, erotic.
Well, first of all, let me, before we start properly, I just wanted to ask you to just relax and don't be nervous about it. And I'm just a regular guy.
Do I look nervous?
No, but I thought you might have, you know, you might have heard things, you might have felt a little bit, I don't know.
I've heard things, but certainly not more than what you've heard about me.
No, I'm sure, I'm sure. No, it's very nice to see you back in London.
Thank you.
And the fuss downstairs, I don't know, you're probably used to it, but all the press outside and fans outside, is that something you get used to, or is it just a kind of pain?
Well, I don't think you ever really, I mean, you expect it after a while, but you don't really get used to it, because a lot of times you want to, you know, go out for a walk and do something spontaneous, and you can't really do anything unless you call in the troops, basically, so I don't really ever get used to it.
Is that why you didn't go jogging this morning, or have you given up that kind of thing?
No, I exercised this morning, but it's just so difficult to go outside, so just do it in my room.
Let me ask you, you're not wearing it now, and I must admit I'm mildly disappointed, but this
I'm
new
sorry.
gold tooth with is it a D on it?
Yes.
For Dita.
Dita.
The movie star. You've got, well, tell me about it first of all. What inspired it? How many do you have? And where do you keep it when it's not in?
Well, it was inspired, the gold tooth, I've seen it on people and I like the way it looks. I've seen it on gypsies, I've seen it on Indian women, I've seen it on rappers, you know, in New York, stuff like that. And so I liked it. I think I like gold, first of all. And the D, what inspired putting the D on it, just because that's the narrator of my book, Dita Parlo. And also I wear it in my video because the beginning of the song starts off with my name is Dita. And I like the D. I have one with an M in it, but I don't like to wear it.
Does it annoy you when it's on, or you just forget about
Can't
it?
even feel it.
Do you have any other body jewellery you'd care to share with us?
Only rings. I mean, that's it.
Okay, okay.
No pierced nipples.
Thanks for sharing that, even if you don't have any. You ever thought about that?
I've thought about how painful it must be, and I would never want to do it. That's about it.
Let me talk a little bit about the way your career's gone, because I remember the first time I saw you on television ever in this country, you came over to do the Tube television show.
Yeah.
And I looked at that clip recently, and it's a very different looking you.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, physically, in the way you dress, the way you move, and just to look, there is...
I've changed.
You have changed enormously. And for the better, I like to think.
Oh, I'd like to think that, too.
If we took the holiday, took some time to celebrate, just one day out of life, it would be so nice. Everybody spread the word. We're gonna have a celebration all across the world. In every nation, it's time for the good times. Forget about the bad times. Oh yeah, one day to come together to release the pressure. We need a holiday. If we took a holiday, some time to celebrate. Come on, let's celebrate. Just one day out of life. Holiday. It would be so nice.
I mean, at the time, I remember everyone saying, here's this new disco diva. She's a new flavour of the month, and she'll be gone in a year. And everyone had written you off. And were you aware of that? And did you maybe fear that yourself?
No, I never feared it. I've always tried to not pay attention to it. I mean, they're still saying the same things now as they did 10 years ago. I just know more about life, period, you know? I mean, because I do what I do, I've been exposed to so many different kinds of people and culture, and I know more. And I guess I feel more comfortable in my skin. So.
Erotica, which I was listening to this morning on my little Walkman and enjoying very much, it's got much more of a kind of a dancey R&B sound to it, quite a heavy sound to it.
Yeah.
Is it intended for the clubs? Is that a step that you're trying to make?
No, that's the kind of music I've been listening to, influenced by, and I mean, it probably has a sort of a more gritty quality and more club quality, but it's because that's what I like right now. Yeah.
There are a lot of, I mean, it's a very sexy album.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
Not all of it, but I mean, most of it. But some songs more than others, and there are a lot of kind of anatomical references. Now, when you're writing that kind of stuff, are you writing that for yourself, or are you writing that with some kind of impression that you want to make?
I like, when I write music, I like to write them like, in my mind there's a little movie playing, and I always envision scenarios and characters, and of course it's not always something that I've experienced, but I always say it in the first person, so it seems like it's a personal thing. And they're just usually ideas that amuse me. I mean, sometimes they're things that I think are erotic. Sometimes they're things that I think would be interesting to write a song about, because no one's ever written a song about it. You know, I mean, I'm influenced by many things, and my inspirations come from lots of different places. And sometimes I know I'm purposely being funny or ironic, you know, and sometimes I just like the way words sound. I mean,
do you worry that people might not get the irony, but they might not pick up on the humour?
Not really. I mean, everyone's not going to... You have to be intelligent to get the humor. You have to be sophisticated, and I know everybody isn't, so some people will get it and some people won't.
Let me talk to you about one song in particular which I enjoy, which is Where Life Begins.
Oh, good.
And it's a top song, and the lyrics on it, this particular bit. Now, what could be better than a home-cooked meal? How you want to eat it depends on how you feel. Forgive the delivery, please. You can eat all you want and you don't get fat. Now, where else can you go for a meal like that? It's not fair to be selfish or stingy. Every girl should experience eating out. Well, first of all, here.
Meaning you agree with it?
When I heard it, I was shouting, author, author. I gave you a standing ovation. I was on the train at the time. But there's a message there, and it's a funny song as well.
Well, it's innuendo, too, because first it's the implication that girls like to go out. It's like if you say, I like to eat out tonight, it could be taken as I like to go out to a restaurant. So there's like the surface of it, right? There's the surface meaning, and then, of course, hopefully, the majority of the people will get that it's also a sexual reference, and I truly believe that every girl should experience eating out, in both cases, sexually and in restaurants.
And could the
or
two...
sometimes the two could meet.
Yeah, they could be combined. Have to be in a very liberal restaurant, of course.
Absolutely.
Got any tips on the frequency that we're talking about here?
On a regular basis, absolutely. I mean,
it's implicit, the sexual innuendo, the references there. But looking back on other songs, it's quite easy to see a thread, even if it wasn't intended. Like, I read recently that you said that Like a Virgin, you intended virgin to be seen as just coming to something fresh.
Yeah.
For the first time, not particularly...
Well, I always try to... I try to write songs so that they could be read on lots of different levels, you know. So you could appreciate them superficially, and then if you go deeper, you see something else.